All right, everyone. Hope you have gotten hydrated and are ready for this upcoming run because we are all set up for ateatree and Amber Cyprian's run of Rikki and Vikki. Immediately blurbed up a name. I'm so sorry, Amber. So I'll hand this over to those funky foxes for some co-op puzzle action.
Well, thank you. My name is Andrew Cyprian, apparently, and it was a quiet evening until it wasn't.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. That's
No,
one.
yeah,
Most people,
we're bringing you in now. You're part of it.
most
The B
people,
turned into a D.
most people can't get the last name.
True. And Steph was kind enough to ask, so
That's all right.
I think that's what ended up tripping her up.
Yeah, well, it was a quiet evening until this happened. So welcome to Rikki and Vikki. This is an Atari 7800 homebrew game that does work on real hardware. We're not going to be doing that on real hardware today because that is a ton of lag that the game likes to have.
And
But
hey, before we get into much further, Restreamer, time is going to start as soon as the foxes start running to the left on the screen, and we're going to do that in 3, 2, 1, go.
yes.
And there's a reason for that. It's because we have some setup to do before the run takes off properly. We also have a little bit of mashing to do, and we'll get into why that is in a little bit. Amber, as you were.
All right, so this is Rikki and Vikki. We're going to be holding a button called abort, which rushes our timer that's going to be in the top center of the screen down to 0 because we want to initiate 2 game overs to be able to unlock the ability to use infinite lives because this game is very hard and we want to be marathon safe. So, that being said, we found out a few days ago, actually earlier this week, that you can in fact game over faster by positioning the foxes roughly close to where they are supposed to be when the game over screen happens, and then mashing so that the Misery Dragon, our main antagonist, who will be sweeping past in just a moment, goes faster vertically across the screen. And it cuts off the audio for the music, and suddenly we're game overing faster.
Yes, this puzzle game now has pixel perfect positioning in ways different than you'd expect a puzzle game to, and also it has mashing. Also, by the way, my name is ateatree. We actually didn't get to that part earlier.
Yeah, no, we were so hung up on Andrew Cyprian.
Yep, no, we got time for everything. We are nothing if not well planned, which is the idea for a puzzle game. That's fine.
It's okay. I was about as far north as you were south. But
I'm
doing this
I'm
second
probably at a
game
funny
over.
angle to everything because I'm trying to hold my controller further away while mashing.
So this is Dut. He is a denizen of Miseryland, which is where this game takes place. The Misery Dragon broke into Rikki and Vikki's house in the evening and kidnapped their 2 children, Sam and Marie. And he offers us the ability to use direct Dut deposit, where we no longer earn points to get a high score, and instead he takes all our points and we get infinite lives as noted at the top of the screen. So, if you haven't figured it out already, the goal of each level is to collect all of the keys. It varies from level to level. Last level had 4, this one has 3, and be able to progress to the next stage in that way. So, in doing that, we're going to be picking up tons of boxes, defeating enemies along the way, which we haven't seen any yet, but that's okay. I'm going to grab this key here, and just
Glad the timing worked
hopefully
out for that one, because I missed the jump there, and because so much of this is ultimately cycle-based in terms of our muscle memory, if nothing else, even very slight variations, like I missed a jump and didn't pick up the first key on R2 as quickly as I would like to, and that almost resulted in me taking a box to the face and getting crushed into the wall. Which
Yes,
is a valid way to die in this game.
You can, in fact, crush your co-op partner. And I'm gonna try to get this jump. We got it. Heck yeah. That's really hard to do. The game doesn't usually intend for you to do that to beat the game normally, but in a cavern that you won't be seeing, because it's a extra cavern. Caverns are worlds in this game, by the way. It forces you to learn how to do those, like, very tiny coyote jumps with no headroom to work with. So,
and we're going to be doing
Tree,
another
if you don't
one
mind
here.
explaining this.
Yeah, so the idea here is using the power of the coyote jump plus a very specific placement on the box there. You saw that Amber was able to get up only using the one box. What's supposed to happen is Rikki, the teal fox that I'm playing, passes both the boxes over to Vikki, or passes the box that is on his side of the screen, and then Vikki makes a tower to get back around to the boxes. But instead, you can do what we call a box jump or a box hop by having the box under your feet, or rather, in that level, it was a coyote hop, and that there was a box hop.
Yes.
A box hop is another advanced technique where you grab the box at the same moment you jump off of it, which results in the box coming with you and you getting the full height of a jump. So those are two advanced techniques we'll be using a relatively large amount throughout the rest of the game.
So we're meeting our first boss here, Drillbat, and so let me get this jump before I mistime it. So
Always was.
bosses are very formulaic in Rikki and Vikki. They have this period of invulnerability where they're doing their attack pattern, and they eventually produce a box to hit them with.
Or
in
indeed
their
a box-shaped
pattern.
object.
Yes, as the instruction manual denotes.
Yeah,
and then we
Miseryland
have to
cheaped
hit
out.
the
They went for
box.
generics. No boxes here,
Yes.
just box-shaped objects.
No. And I have to be very careful to not hit the side or bottom of Drillbat's shoes, or else it'll split the box in half and we lose a cycle, and that would really suck. But they all have 3 HP. So if we get first cycle every time, or like perfect cycles every time, we're in good shape.
Yeah, there are most of the bosses in the game will be able to be manipulated in that way, and then later on there'll be some interesting switch-ups. That is
So
the
we're
end
gonna
of
be-
the first and shortest cavern.
Yes, so we're going to be moving on to our next cavern, but first we have a few messages from Dut, who will appear between every cavern to give us a short introduction to the next cavern, some hints about how to progress, and it's
while
very
we get
important if
some-
you're playing this casually, listen to him. But while we're listening to Dut, why don't we listen to what Spef has to say?
I don't know if I could beat what Dut has to say. Look at them. They're so cute.
We,
I'd like
we
to
both
remind
just kind of
everyone
do
watching.
this voice for Dud. Dud is our friend. Anyways, as you were.
It fits so well. I just wanted to remind everyone watching that we have a couple of bid wars open for the Sims run coming on up next, where you can choose the body type or the name of the Sim. And I would like to remind you also that the current name of the Sim that's winning is Gollum at $35.
Nice.
Shout out to the run that happened before this. If you would like it to be a different name, get your donations in.
I mean, most
There we
Sims are filthy little creatures. So that seems only so appropriate.
All
If
right.
you want it to be, I don't know, Rikki or Vikki or Thunder or Lightning,
Or
those are also
Andrew.
all very valid options. Yes.
I am teasing in good faith.
I'm not gonna live this down now.
No, nor is Rikki going to live that down.
Nope, I flipped too early. So when you are carrying a box, your momentum changes considerably. And that's one of the most likely states for mistakes to happen in terms of your
Yes.
execution.
Gotta wait.
Thank
No.
you. So yeah, if you are at full tilt carrying a box, you will go at least an extra 1 tile beyond when you stop pressing. So there's a lot of accounting to be done for that, especially
While I
when you are...
focus here,
Yes.
while I focus here, can you explain this cavern? Because we have not.
Yes, so Sand Cavern is largely based on the lights being on and off for a variety of reasons. Yeah, I saw that coming, but I couldn't stop you in time because I was busy
No.
describing something else.
No.
Um,
I had not gotten that cycle like that before. That was weird.
It's true. This particular level is extremely cycle-based, more so than almost any level in the game, at least for a long while. So you did not grab the key. Let's give that another go, and we'll get our backup cycle afterwards.
Yeah.
So if everything went extremely... that's too late.
That is definitely too late. Well, we're about to demonstrate how this beetle works.
True. I don't even have to describe it at this point. The beetle will throw the box in the opposite of the way it's traveling, which means in this case it goes back to Vikki.
Yes, and I need this box to drop now, please and thanks. So I'm gonna wait. The backup strat is waiting for it to get directly under my feet here, underneath this hieroglyph that I'm jumping past now.
Which means the
and then it'll
box will
catch
land
it.
on the beetle, and it'll
Yes.
toss opposite, or it'll toss in the same direction it was already heading. The one way to get it to do that.
Yeah, it's very strange, and it took me a while to figure out that backup cycle. Unfortunately, I just kind of autopiloted as though I had gotten first cycle.
Of course.
Spoilers, I didn't. We're gonna have to haul butt here. There we go.
Because
Because
what
tree
we're
needs
aiming
to
for
throw.
is just as soon as the beetle turns around, I throw the box back to it.
This cavern is kind of my Achilles heel, especially whenever we're derusted right now, but it is my Achilles heel when we come back to the game after a time away from it, because if you haven't noticed, this cavern operates largely in darkness, and you only have the sprites on screen and the hieroglyphs on the walls as your ability to tell where you are on the stage.
Hey, you didn't go to the right. Lovely.
I almost did. I definitely tapped to the right.
You thought about it. Gotcha.
I thought about it loudly in my head. So we're gonna actually grab this box here. We're gonna throw Rikki upwards to grab this silver key, and then instead of throwing it back down to the beetles, I can just throw it back up to be able to hit the switch because the box sticking to the ceiling and wall there counts as hitting that top right corner switch.
So screen wrapping is a very common mechanic. We will be doing a lot of coming off the bottom of the screen, going back around to the top, but in that case, skipping the screen wrap is actually significantly faster.
Yes, and this stage introduces ghost kittens for the next couple of stages. They appear only in darkness, can be dispelled by boxes or light. And I had to make sure I made that jump. And if they touch you, like all things in this game, you die. Alright, so we're gonna wait for
That's not true.
the
Boxes don't kill you on contact. They just kill you if you're between them and a wall.
Yes. One moment, let me jump up here. There we go. We're gonna hit that switch, and we're gonna try to get a jump off this box into this. Nice.
Good. And I was ready there. The plan B is me kicking that up in case there's a bonk and Amber doesn't make it up to the other platform.
Alright, we're gonna dispel these cats here. Rikki's gonna grab the box. I'm gonna grab the keys.
We're both gonna book it together.
Yes, because we need to move fast, lest we have to wait for the cats to get in a good position for us to defeat them. So this is Lady Anubis. This is boss 2, very heavily on me, although the first hit is on Rikki. She appears vulnerable when either in light or in shadow, whatever is the opposite to which the phase starts in. In this case, we're going to start in the shadows, so we actually need to make it light here. And I'm going to block that axe there, grab this box, make sure I'm not holding any buttons when I grab that box, otherwise I'll drift, and then I'll run out of time to hit Lady Anubis. And then the last phase is actually surprisingly simple. We're gonna go down here to the bottom left while Rikki lifts the switch, and then we just come up here and defeat Lady Anubis.
In case it hasn't been said, this game does feature flashing lights at the end of each boss, so
yes,
please be mindful of that if that is a sensitivity for you.
And as we go between
any other messages,
stages,
anything that people should know about?
Yes.
I actually have a quick question for the two of you.
Please do.
So this game looks decidedly retro and like it was made like 20 to 30 years ago or something like that. But this game was made in 2018.
Correct.
Yes.
Something like that.
By a group of
What's the
Atari.
deal?
It was a group of Atari enthusiasts who made it as a homebrew project. You know, homebrew projects have been relatively common ever since, like, gosh, there's a Steam game that the Steam released probably 2015. It's called Pure Solar. God, I don't remember the full name. It's And the Architects of something. But homebrew projects making new games for old hardware have been very common for kind of a long time now that we're in 2025. And this is people figuring the Atari 7800 version. If you look at the Multithon post on socials, the color grading and the overall like visual quality and speed of the game is much more like what you see there. I appreciate also that they used a wood panel television to indicate retro, but yeah, the game runs very differently on genuine hardware than it does on a PC with proper graphics acceleration and everything. But in long and short, I just take it to be one of those labors of love from.
What?
Never seen that happen before.
I didn't even press down. I have no idea.
No, you didn't. But the box. So this game does have an edge correction system. We just don't normally see it interact with up and down. Normally, it's left and right that are the vertices that get you. I'm sorry, Amber. You were saying something else about your feelings about retro projects and the like.
I don't remember at this point because I'm just flabbergasted. My ghast is flabbered.
We found the new way for that to happen, so.
Yeah, that's never happened before.
Indeed.
Okay, so what Tree's about to do here while they focus, they are actually going to be doing what we call box stacking. They're actually going to be using the room. Normally you can just wait for the boxes to fall, but it takes 4 in-game seconds roughly for the boxes to drop, like lose their stickiness to the wall and fall on top of each other to build a tower. Thank you. And so Tree was just speeding it along there. Yep. And there we go.
Yep, we're also now starting to use bridges as platforms. In that case, Amber had to do a trust jump and trust that I would recognize and notice when on the screen they jumped and lift the box up off of the platform. And properly make that jump and not get killed by Piggy.
Yes, say hello to Picky. He wears a Walmart vest. He is one of Miseryland's citizens or denizens or workers.
Miseryland's unhappiest employee.
It's true. One moment. There we go. I'm trying really hard to not accidentally hold left or right a little too long and end up in the lava. In fact, Picky is very important here. Without Picky, we can't solve this puzzle. So we're gonna grab this box and I'm gonna reactivate the bridges here. So I have to wait for Picky to get on top of the top right bridge. And when he does, I'm going to grab this box to bring him down here with me, and then we're gonna rebuild the bridge so I can quickly get over here. And I'm gonna get
and that's the
safely.
whole reason that box is left over there is as a
Safety.
safe spot for Amber in case the cycle doesn't go quite as hoped.
Yes.
Yeah, that one is a real stumper casually. That took us an awful long time.
Yeah, there's at least a couple of levels in this in this world, and then a few in the next cavern and the cavern after that, where we had to refer to the previous world record holders, Utsu and Tokiji's co-op runs to find the solutions. And we have since taken, you know, those solutions and either found improvements or they weren't improvable. Tree.
You're good.
Tree.
You're
Okay.
good. Sorry, you were
Yeah.
busy doing something else. I hadn't thought about it. That actually happened for the first or second time earlier tonight. So, as soon as you said something, I realized what had happened.
Yes.
But yeah, we're just doing a little bit of firefighting because box-shaped objects are also good for that. And
I'm
then,
gonna eat Picky.
everybody, if you feel bad for Picky, please look away.
Yeah, what we're about to do to Picky is get him out of the equation, because
Picky deserves better.
Picky deserves
Justice for
better,
Picky.
but he's just very slow in this stage, so the stage doesn't want you to do that to Picky, but it's faster, because you see that box in the bottom right, you're supposed to do something with it. I genuinely don't know what.
Yeah,
if you were to
didn't
ask
do it
me,
in our
I
casual
wouldn't know.
playthrough either. I
No.
don't know how you get over from one to the other.
No, I really don't. There we go. We're gonna throw that box there. We're gonna grab that box, throw it at Rikki. So this is one instance where I need to block a bridge from blocking another bridge. There we go. And we're gonna toss over to Rikki, and my part's done. Please don't drift into those spikes. I have the fear of God in me every time you do that.
Speaking of your part being done.
Oh yeah, you want to see me win by doing absolutely nothing?
Yeah, you remember how I didn't do much except the first hit on the last boss? This is going to be that, but more.
I'm gonna take a water break real quick.
This
This
works
is Hot
because
Hog.
if you are further towards the interior of the level than where Hot Hog is when he gets hit, he will stop at you. He's inclined to go to the next fox. So I'm just making sure that the next fox is always me.
It's true. We actually found that out, we figured that out at some point in our runs, like, when we first started running this game, but couldn't quite figure out how to fully manipulate it, and we figured that out, before submitting to Multithon, actually. And Vikki wins by doing literally nothing. I love it, don't you?
It is technically possible to do that level slightly faster by keeping Hot Hog on the bottom layer every hit, but then you have to jump over that first 3 tile, then 5 tile, then like 6 or 7 tile gap of flames.
It's something
It's not worth
ridiculous, and it's so tight that it's not
You
worth
save
it.
4 in-game seconds, and I can do it about 10% of the time.
Yeah, it's not consistent enough, and we don't need those 4 seconds to continue to PB. What we really need is fewer deaths overall, and we're getting there. We've been
There is that.
steadily improving this world record for quite a while. So this
To be fair,
is Bubble
it
Cavern.
helps to not be on lives. It really takes away a lot of the pressure of execution.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and toss her straight down.
So that's a box bup, by the way. That fish, box bup. It eats the box, and whatever direction it's going in, when it gets a box in its mouth, it will go the opposite direction and then spit it back out. Otherwise, it just kind of drifts very lazily back and forth on a
Remember,
set cycle.
you're going to want to be on the inside for this when it comes back to you.
Yes. So if you don't mind taking over from here, explaining this cavern and how it works.
So this cavern is, well, we'll take another run at that since we didn't
gotta
get our
wait.
cycle. Yeah. You're
Wait
good.
for-
You're good.
Yep, there we go. I had to wait to make sure I wasn't going to drop myself onto the bottom box bup,
Ah, yeah. Good call.
because I could
Yeah,
have done that.
This cavern is extremely cycle-based. Box bups are things we'll be waiting on consistently throughout our time here, and it is also very precise placement-based.
Yes.
This level in particular is actually one of the slowest because I have to wait for this bottom box bup to make it inside this bottom corner to send it a box every time. if you stack up multiple boxes in that corner at once, they will stack horizontally outwards instead of vertically and will not fall towards the target. So you will not unlock the switch unless you are willing to wait.
It is true. Like, what we are doing here, as far as we are aware, is currently the fastest possible way to solve this particular puzzle. Tree, be careful. There we go. So
Is this the
I'm gonna
normal
just
cycle?
stand here. Yep. So I'm gonna stand here and wait for this bup to spit that box at me, and then I'm gonna do my last part there. Alright, so first thing I gotta do is throw down to this box bup, and Tree can already hear in their head me yelling, "With what key, Tree?" Because what Tree has to do is...
there is a fail state for ending up back down without having the without having the key. Because once one box is over on this side, it's almost impossible to get it back over to the left side.
Yes.
And
so we're gonna wait for these boxes.
This is the natural laddering effect of the boxes. You have to wait for each thing to happen in its time rather than being able to throw. And with good cycling, without having missed any time there, Amber was able to immediately drop down after we collected those keys and finish up nice and quick.
Yes.
Time for some MLG. MLG box throws featuring Amber Cyprian. Every time you see an X appear over a box's head, it means they're throwing to an invalid location. It could be in a ceiling, in a wall, etc. Yep. So we saw, I think, one of those.
All right. So, I actually end up doing those a couple of different times throughout the run, where it is my job to do the MLGs, if you will, just because for some reason, despite being the client on Parsec here, I am more consistent at them.
They're just more consistent at it, yep. Time for another new puzzle/enemy type.
Welcome to the Fiddler Crab. The Fiddler Crab is a giant jerk whose pincer will kill you, but he tries to target whatever he last saw, usually a fox, sometimes a box, and we just have to avoid being where he lunges out his pincer. When he also comes above to throw whatever is in his hands down, he will also hurt us in that way. I need to pay attention here.
Yep.
For just a moment.
And then
there we
reverse. Go. I can get it on the next cycle.
Gate hops when I have to rely on Tree to like release and pick up the gate.
Yeah, those are more manageable.
Yes, having to rely on the enemy.
You get it right the first time, or in many cases there really isn't a good, reliable backup in a timely fashion. To split this into two motions, it is technically possible to hit the switch and grab that key in the same motion. I have done it exactly once. This is the worst level in the game. Amber, would you like to tell the people why?
Okay, so what you're about to see is a series of gate hops that rely on Tree having to time perfectly this box falling from or hitting the switch. There we go, good stuff. I try to get this directly above the key as best I can so that Tree has usually an equal amount of time regardless of the direction the bup is going in.
Sometimes the bup will just pass over the box like that.
Okay, first try is beautiful. Okay. We could have been here for quite a while. Boy, howdy, have we been here for a while. Yeah, we've
absolutely timed out on this level. Sometimes I'm just not feeling it. It just happens that way.
And then sometimes Tree locks the heck in.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So this is another level where it's you get the cycle first try or not at all.
Nope, I jumped back down onto the... I'm like, good, I'm done.
Or you get the cycle first try and then not at all. So,
yeah, thankfully,
Tree definitely...
with a correct jump down onto the platform, the Fiddler's always going to find me at the place that I want it to, and then I'm just going to make sure the box is there instead of me, and it's going to pick up that box. And that gets us the fast cycle here for the laddering of the boxes to happen.
Not just the fast cycle, but the reliable cycle, because I need this bup to be moving away from me as I do this jump. I hate that jump. I hate all jumps like that. I need to...
So I'm not sure exactly what the question was, but I saw somebody asking how are we supposed to see that casually. Trial and error.
Yes,
there
this
is
game
not a
is
whole
very
lot
heavy.
You could Google our run or Utu and Tokiji's run, but generally the idea is trial and error. And honestly, that's kind of part of the beauty of it. Your casual playthrough versus how this run goes are going to be vastly, vastly different.
This boss is a very good example.
Yes.
Oh my god. Our casual was a disaster here.
This is the biggest shout out to Utu and Tokiji in the entire run.
Yes. Oh my goodness. The strategy for forming that box.
Yeah, that box comes together in a very particular way in that it will always try to move the left half of the box before the right half of the box. So by being on a humbled squid's right side, we make sure that the box meets its other half on the way to the foxes. Okay. Yep, thank you. It meets its other half on the way, and based on how I move, it will just harmlessly drop in front of us rather than having to dodge out of the way of it. We also have to move in concert here. After it waggles its tentacles 3 times. They're really just kind of handcuffs attached to nothing in particular, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, so if the hands don't touch, the heart doesn't show up, and then you really have to work with your partner to try to make it work in real time, to like stand somewhere in its hitbox just long enough to not get hit by the hands. But that is the reliable way to do it, and we recommend that if anybody else chooses to play this game, you watch that fight back and do it just that way for yourself.
Yeah, because what we tried to do in our casual run was we thought the wires had to completely cross. No, they just have to touch at the very ends, and it makes him vulnerable. But no, it was a disaster. We were there for quite a while.
Absolutely. Even trying to pick up missing something, like if Vikki were to take off a little early because the latency feels different today, that could cause an enormous adjustment.
So we're actually moving into our final full cavern. Every cavern has 10 levels plus a boss. And it starts at, level 0 and then goes to level 9 and then level boss. And this introduces a lot of new mechanics, both literally and figuratively. So this is Metal Cavern, and its focus is on tubes. As you can see, the tubes that have printed arrows on them indicate that they are tubes that a box can pass through. There are plungers that will plunge the box in front of them across the way. There's Trashbot. Trashbot is a thing here.
Thankfully, we realized you could use a box as a shield so that Trashbot's shots won't hit you, and we can just kind of charge on past him to get the first part of the puzzle going on faster. I saw a question in chat. What's the deal with the big round guy? He's kind of the multi-dimensional entity of this game. Depending on how your run goes, he will offer you infinite lives, which we took at the very beginning to make things a lot more marathon safe. Otherwise, he will sell you credits as you finish caverns in exchange for your points.
Okay. Sorry, I'm focusing real hard here because I got to make sure I get these box throws.
This level is very timing based and also a lot of assembly line work. We got another go.
Fine. I don't have it.
We'll wait for it to come
back. I'm gonna wait for the normal queue. Okay, there we go. So
one miss, but that's fine.
Yeah, I'm grateful that you were able to get that throw because
very few things work every time. This game's controls are fairly touchy.
It feels what?
Who never happened before? That was neat. I don't even know what you did. I think you mashed the box into the ceiling.
Yeah, well, no, I was neutral throwing, like I'm supposed to, but apparently...
but you were too high. You were too high up.
So
apparently, you edge-corrected yourself into the wall.
Yeah, I've never seen that in my life.
Nope.
Granted, I've only run this game for about a year and a half, but still.
Sometimes you lab out the tech, and sometimes you lab out the deaths.
Yeah. At least it was a very quick death.
Doodleplex, that wasn't even the first that's never happened before during this run. We managed 2 so far.
True.
Yep, so you just noticed that the thing
about...
go right ahead.
No, I was going to say, it's just really cool to see you two, like, learning new things and routing on a live marathon stream.
Yeah, this game definitely has, like, work left for it to do. We our sum of best is a 37 and our PB is a 4017. Just for reference, because our
I made the jump, but I didn't have the box with me.
It's true. I'm gonna reset. So this is Foxbot. Foxbot is great because Foxbot can break the Foxbot is no danger to us, and it can break the Foxbot marked boxes. Please be careful. Thank you.
Well, at least now, anyway. Yeah. The reason that particular coyote jump is so difficult is because you're also carrying a box, so you have to handle the physics of coyote time along with the slidiness of handling a box.
It's true. All right, we're gonna break that one. So, I need to be on the other side here. Give me a moment. Cool.
From this point, I just kind of get to push the box up and down repeatedly. You hadn't picked it up yet.
No.
That's what I get.
It is not rhythmically. It is watching. It is watching.
Hey,
Vikki,
it
please and
is.
Thank you.
You just usually execute, so I don't have anything to worry about. But no, you're right, objectively.
Sometimes when you're getting the yellow Wi-Fi symbol of death.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
we're good.
We are good.
Yeah, we do play this game over Parsec, so despite the fact that I recently upgraded my internet and we can use the full 50 megabits of Parsec's free plan, it doesn't mean the connection is completely unimpeachable. It is better than Steam Remote Play together,
Oh
though.
God, it is. Our casual was on Steam Remote Play, and I don't recommend it. It works for some games. It just didn't feel quite right for this one, and Parsec just felt a lot better.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna play chicken with a laser here.
As one does.
Yep. Well, that didn't work. I'm trying to see if I can do that at some point. Tree.
Yeah. Sorry, I was
need
thinking
you.
of the part where you do this, and then you come, and I throw you up with the box.
There we go.
That's later.
That's now.
Indeed.
And then let me don't throw.
Now
Okay.
is later.
It is so easy to accidentally kill your co-op partner. It is not even funny. It's like it's very
But it
easy
is
to
fun.
accidentally.
Hey! Thank you for that object example of how you can kill your co-op partner.
Yep, and this is what happens when you aren't holding down for long enough when you are trying
Right away.
to turn and place your box. One of the reasons I love running this game is because you find new and unique
back.
ways to mess things up and get that never happened before, or hey, I haven't killed you that like
that last
yet.
one had happened before. So that one doesn't
Yes.
count, I'm afraid.
Alright, and I just do that, and then I come down here and now I wait. But I enjoy the content that this run has to offer for showcases, just because you get really
If things go
comical
great,
moments.
it's great. If things don't go great, it's still good fun.
It's still great fun. Okay, this level is the other level.
Hey,
that
remember when
really
we talked
sucks.
about playing chicken with a laser? I'm gonna do that for
Yes.
most of this level.
Yeah, sorry, give me a second. I drifted.
You're good.
Box drift be very real.
I forgot to
All
put
right,
the thing down.
I gotta reset. And
Oh,
that's
no,
prop.
that's right.
I'm not convinced that was faster.
That wasn't
but okay.
the only way to do it. You're right. But we go again.
It's like I just had to reset Foxbot. It's okay.
Right.
The
The fastest
reset button
way is
is
if
that
I
one
get a
with the
box down
exclamation
for him to have a step.
Okay. So now you play chicken with the laser. So Foxbot needs to come down and let me access here, and I need to watch Treat very carefully. Okay. Cool. So now all Tree needs to do is go.
We're fine.
All Tree needs to do is in fact go.
Yeah, but the watching Vikki out of the corner of my peripheral vision is trickier than it seems, because
Yes.
you're really just focusing in on your own fox, not the objective center of the screen.
Yeah, no, I
While
need
we do
to
a little
watch
bit of
Rikki.
bridge building, Steph, are there any messages or anything that people should know about?
Yeah, so I noticed we had some new folks hop into chat, so I'd like to remind you all that we have 2 bid wars open for The Sims 4 grilled cheese versus IRL grilled cheese. Yes, that is what it's called. Coming up next after this run for the body type and for the sim name. The body type, female is currently winning at $53. Male is close behind at $25, so if you want to bridge that gap, get your donations in. And the sim name is currently going to be Gollum, which is currently winning at $35. So if you would like to see the sim name something that's not Gollum, donate now. Or you can double down on it. Really secure that win.
There we go. We just had to find our rhythm.
I appreciated the bridge that gap because
Yes,
that is
that was
exactly
very
what
good.
we're trying
I
to
was
do.
paying attention to that. I think that might have been why I missed one time. Spep was just too clever.
That requires
right.
so much coordination. Oh my goodness. So welcome to Steel Simeon, also known as the worst boss. I think this is the hardest boss in the game. Even though he is also 3 hits, he requires controlling and knowing how to control your exact set of pipes, avoiding him punching various...
missed.
Oh,
That's a shame. That's fine. We'll just take it again.
okay.
Yeah. Usually I drag Steel Simeon around so that he always gets hit with that first box as it drops, if not sooner. Just didn't quite work out that way. And rather than deal with the randomness of when things come through the pipes and all that, we'll just take another go at it.
Okay, so this first phase has me controlling the first gate. This next phase is going to have Tree controlling the first gate.
I
Actually,
expect he's coming
yes.
after you. Let's just be careful.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait for a sec. He is coming my way, so I'm gonna go over here. to buy you the time to pick up the box. First gate through.
All gates passed.
Remote?
Remote. But
All right,
we're fine.
cool. So if he can't hit a fox for long enough...
If it's been too long since he reached a fox, he will jump to the space over the box receptacle, which is the nice part. But then he will fire his remote, which fires a seeking attack towards each fox.
Remote? Oh, no, not remote yet.
Expect one soon.
Remote.
Yeah. We're good.
Okay, we're fine. The second I looked away, he went into remote animation, and I was like, oh, I'm at box. I'm gonna
In many
trip.
phases, the thing that will save you from being hit is the fact that you're hitting him, at least once you get the rhythms down.
Yes. All right. So we have one more message from Dut. Dut's going to wish us a pleasant rest of our journey. And we're going to go into the joke of this is the hardest level in the game. But while we go into the hardest level of the game, Spef, do you have any other messages or anything you want to ask?
Messages like the one from Dut. For both of you, there are a lot of really delightful critters in this game. Which one's your favorite? Because every time a new one pops up on screen, I am just so happy with the art.
I want to say, like, I'm a big fan of, like, the very first enemies, like the dumb bun with the construction hat on in Rock Cavern. I actually think they're adorable. This is a question you haven't had to put any thought into.
No. Honestly, it might still be coming up.
So this is the Discomfort Dispenser Mark II. If you were to ask us what happened to Mark I, I wouldn't be able to tell you, and I'm a little afraid to ask at this point.
Considering you'd be asking the Misery Dragon, it's probably better if you don't.
Yeah, so we're facing off with the Misery Dragon. You're gonna hear me make some Sonic Colors call-outs here.
You go to the front.
I have to jump over the flame first.
True.
Alright, so we're gonna hopefully drag this claw enough to
Remember,
get the
this is a pull
perfect
cycle?
Yes,
Pull?
and we got our
Okay,
perfect
good.
cycle. So we actually get to skip a couple of attacks before going into that pull phase with the fan there. And we do that by hitting Misery Dragon with the box quickly enough. Rocket!
Yep. It always goes after Rikki first if you are on the optimal cycle. So that's why I stay towards the back while Vikki goes towards the front.
Oh, this is not a perfect cycle.
Dang. I thought we had it.
No, we did not. I saw the laser go straight to the center. I was like, I am moving out of the way.
And I was busy explaining stuff, so.
Yep.
Shame on me.
That's okay. You get to see it again.
Indeed.
So you got to see what happens when we don't get a perfect cycle. It starts by giving us another lasering claw, usually. So I'm gonna... Hopefully, we're gonna drag this claw far enough along. That might be enough. Is that enough? It is enough. Excellent. So, I'm gonna get over here so the laser doesn't hit me, and then I'm gonna join Rikki over on the left side, just because we're used to operating on the left side. We can operate from the right, but we like the left a little more.
This may not be fast enough, considering
It's
that was all the way at the
gonna
back. Yeah, that was at the front, too.
Just keep
so.
your eyes peeled.
No, that's a push.
Yep, we're
Okay.
okay.
That's
No
what I was
laser
expecting
there.
to happen last time.
Alright, so we just, was that phase 2? We're on phase 3,
Yes.
right? I'm not counting anymore,
That
apparently.
was very far forward. Let's see if I can drag it backwards. Yep. That's fine. This one doesn't need to be a fast cycle, because as
Now we
soon as
just
the
need to
third hit
survive.
lands on Misery Dragon, we're good.
There we go.
That'll
Alright,
do.
so, if we were in single player, by the way, single player has its own unique campaign, unique bosses, because you can't solve any of the co-op puzzles as single player most of the time. So it's worth playing the game in single player as well. But that would normally be the end of the game if we were in single player. And we would
It's
be
much
mocked
like
and
Bubble
berated
Bobble.
for we would be mocked and berated by Misery Dragon for showing up alone, because he invited 2 parents, not 1.
And
because
instead,
he
we
thinks-
get proof that, yes, he hates losing. He's very explicit with his instructions. The fact that you did not follow his instructions to the letter means he ends the game right then and there, and has my favorite creature designs, your mutated children, Sam and Marie, send you back to the surface in a cannon. But instead,
Yes.
we now get proof that the maker of this game has played Undertale at least once before,
Yes.
with a nice long narration. Beth, this would be a great opportunity for any messages, if there are any, to share with us.
Yeah, this is your last chance to get any donations in for The Sims 4 body type, because that does need to be decided a couple of minutes before the run starts, because it requires a little bit of setup ahead of time. And then you have until the run starts for the sim name. So this is your last chance. Get your donations in for that bid war. And those all also go towards our milestone incentive of $800 for Resident Evil 5 meme ending. So keep those coming in.
Awesome.
So this boss is one of the simplest to figure out, except for this phase. Shout out to Utsu
right here.
and Tokiji.
Yep,
if you ever want to make this work, line up underneath the clock and the L in the HUD at the top, and you can make the kids collide immediately and create boxes for us. 5, 6, 7...
So Amber counts these out just to be comfortable when to cross underneath.
11,
I always
12,
YOLO it and go
13,
under the very first,
14.
but it helps with crossing under, and it helps with making sure you hit the boss instead of hitting the shell before it becomes vulnerable, which
Yes.
absolutely can happen. You can waste boxes here.
I have done that. I don't know
We're
what
going
you're
to do the
talking
same
about.
thing for 2 more cycles, and as soon as we land the 3rd hit on the true Misery Dragon, that'll be time. But yeah, I like these character designs. They are really out there, especially compared to how cutesy everything else is.
5, 6, 7, 8. So I move on 8, and he 11, 12, 13, 14 does 14 of those, slams both hands, and then becomes vulnerable. And now we're gonna do an even longer bone fingy chase
Indeed.
here.
I think it's 3, 5, 9, something like that.
Something along those lines.
And the last one is hoping to push you into the other fox's spread shot that comes out localized over their character.
All right, one more Salmon Marie attack here. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I move. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, slam, and time. Oh. That was fun. How are you doing, Tree?
Well, we're gonna need to watch this back frame by frame because I just looked at the time at which it ended, and I think we tied our world record.
Really?
Yeah, 40 minutes, 19 seconds.
Oh, God. Yeah, I may have said 40:17 erroneously. Our PB is definitely a 40:19.
Is it 19?
It's 19.
Okay, well, okay. I thought we
Our
said
PB
earlier.
is yeah, I think I had accidentally said 17 earlier in the commentary, but yeah, that is something I'm very happy with, honestly. Even with the flubs, the content kills, and yeah, thank you so much for accepting this. This has been a pet project of ours for a little bit. I was just like, hey, I have this really cool co-op game, but no one to play it with. You want to play, Tree? And then it took us like 3 or 4 days, or basically 3 or 4 sessions. There were times where we got so stumped or like could not execute. And we were like, all right, we're gonna just go to bed, take a rest, come back to it tomorrow or next time we're available, and figure it out from there. Meanwhile, we got some more messages from the Misery Dragon because he's angry. He's very angry. And very, very petty to boot. Yeah, I just want to shout out, there is, well, we are the Rikki and Vikki community, us, Utsu, and Tokiji, and I'm not sure if they're still actively running the game. I know that they're the moderators for speedrun.com, but I want to shout them out because a lot of the boss strats for, like, Humboldt Squid, and this, the final Misery fight, wouldn't have been possible without them, and a few other levels along the way. And shout-outs to Tree for being willing to do this run with me. I was like, hey, I got a bad idea. You want to do this?
Always. Yeah, you know, I host events. You know I'm always in for bad ideas. And yeah, thank you so much for bringing this to me and to the community at large. This run would absolutely not have happened without you, Amber, and thank you so much for that. Where can the people find you?
So I don't stream a whole lot anymore, or at all. I haven't streamed in a couple of years, but you can either find me doing speedrun charity events over at Fast Paced Events. If you go to fastpacedevents.com, you'll find our link tree and get all the cool stuff, the Discord and everything like that, where we raise money for LGBTQ and mental health causes. And otherwise, you can find me typically every other Friday. My show gets moved around a lot because of other events, over on Games Done Quick's channel, because I'm a GDQ Hotfix host where I host Passion Project, typically 10 p.m. Eastern on every other Friday, following up As Seen on TV. where I am a variety speedrunning show that likes to showcase people who are very passionate about what they do in the speedrunning and greater gaming communities. So my next episode is literally tomorrow night at about 10 p.m. Eastern, where we're going to be doing Super Mario 64 blindfolded with Bubsia, and following that up with Super Mario Bros. 3 with Supersonic. So if you want to see more of me, come swing through at 10 p.m. Eastern at Games Done Quick. And Tree, where can people find you?
So everything they just said, play it all back in your head up to the point where they describe what show they're on. Because I also don't stream very often. I'm also part of Fast Paced Events along with a couple of other events teams. And as of very recently, I am also a Hotfix showrunner running the first show on every other Wednesday evening, so 7 p.m. Eastern. It's called Out of the Box, and it's about runs that don't need setup or special things like completed save games, arbitrary control binding, anything like that. If you see the run and you like it, you can do it basically just the same way yourself right after you watch the show.
This game technically qualifies.
It's true.
But it does require Parsec or Steam Remote Play together, but, you know.
That's right.
Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and Speth, thank you so much for hosting. It's been wonderful to be here and keep raising money for a wonderful cause.
Thanks, everyone. Keep watching Multithon.